Good afternoon. This is Debbie Bratton, your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from St. Robert, Missouri. I'm just hopping on here a little bit early to be sure I have everything set up correctly. It looks like I'm almost perfect. I am just a hair off maybe. Now I'm probably going to be a lot off because I can never adjust the camera correctly. So we shall see. It takes a few minutes to show me on my laptop. Oh, there we go. I think that was perfect. I know I'm a little high tonight when I look like I'm a little bit further away, but I want it to be for you to be able to see my whole glass mat so that I don't work at the bottom and you can't see what I'm doing. I'm just going to give it a few more minutes. And if you're watching, if you could comment, I would love to see that and love to see who's watching. That's why I thought I would wait just maybe another. I have one more minute before it's 5:59 right now here in South Central Missouri. And it's very sunny. It's like almost 70. And it just looks beautiful after a big rain late Friday night and dreary and misty yesterday. We get a nice sunny day for today. I hope you're enjoying a good day wherever you live. Hop on and let me know in the comments where you're from. Okay, it's 6 o'clock, so we're going to start. My name is Debbie Bratton, and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator that lives in St. Robert, Missouri. It's kind of south central in Missouri. We're an hour and a half north of Branson, an hour and a half south of the Ozarks, Lake of the Ozarks. So we're kind of just right here in the middle of two great places. I'm going to start today with this is the Easter card, and I made it with the Easter basket stamp set and dies and the Easter Joy paper. And this one is with the Painted Illusion February product of the month paper, and it's a happy birthday party. And we're also going to make this one using some different paper. So there we go with that. So we're going to move this one out of the way. And we're going to start with this one. So let me find my measurements here so I can have them close enough so I can tell you everything that there is. So I called this the Easter Pullout Card. And so for the base, here's all my pieces. I will show you what they are. For my base, I used thick white just so it would be more sturdy. And this measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Now in this one, I made it into a whole card. But for this one, we're just going to make it into just a card front because you'll have room to sign your name and everything here. That's why I used the thick white for this one. And then I have a basket for the outside. I have an inside. I have a little mechanism here. We'll go over all these. And then I have a front of the little booklet on the front. And this is to go behind this for the inside. Some Shy Shamrock there. This is for the front of the little booklet on there. And this is for the front of the whole card. So this piece is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. This piece is 4 by 5 1/4. It's our normal size of a card front. And this has directions on this side of the paper, so I want to be sure that I have all my flowers and little leaves and everything going the right way. So I'm going to add some mono adhesive here on the back. Oh, and it's working for me first thing. Lately, this mono adhesive has been giving me trouble. So I'm going to just add this to this piece. Oops. I slid it up too far. There we go. Okay. Now the next thing we want to do is we want to start putting together this part right here. So we are going to take this piece, which is the back, and it measures 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. So 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. And I used the decal rectangles to cut the rectangle out of this piece so that we could put the mechanism in there. I could have used a smaller one. I used the third, like the smallest, the second smallest, the third smallest. And this is for the front of it. So we are going to take this piece and we are just going to use some dimensionals on the corners because we can't really put it all the way down, then our mechanism wouldn't work. So let me see. I think the last time I did a live, I was out of large dimensionals. Let me get another pack because the small ones just aren't going to work right. Oh, a whole brand new pack of dimensionals. This is fun. Do you start in the middle or do you start on the edges? It just depends for me. I kind of start in the middle sometimes, and then sometimes I go for the edges. So we're just going to put one of these on all 4 corners. We don't want to put any here because that's where our mechanism is going to slide through, so we can't have any dimensionals in the way. So if this is going to lay here, that's going to be this side that's going to have the mechanism go through. So we could put one here in the middle. Believe me, I know that because the last time I did this, I had to try to take it off without tearing the paper so that I could take off that dimensional. Then we're just going to take all these dimensional covers off. Throw these away. And then we're going to carefully center this left to right and up and down on our card. I think I need to come up just a little bit more. There we go. So that looks pretty well. And I don't have anything underneath here. So next we're going to take our slide piece. This is the, I called it the slider when I wrote my notes here. It's 2 by 6 and it's scored at 2 and 2.5. So I'm just going to take my bone folder here. I'll put my notebook over here when we finish the cards. So if you want to take a screenshot of the dimensions, you can. Oh, Anna, I'm so glad you made it. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, so now we have our mechanism. So before we put this on, we want to fix our card front here. So this white piece is the same as that one down there. It is 2 3/4 by 4 1/4, and we're going to add this piece to the front, which is the reverse of what I have in the background. It just worked out that way this time. So Anna, now you can make some Easter cards. These are pretty easy once you get the hang of them. Now this paper is the designer series paper. It's specialty paper. It almost feels like plastic. I'm not sure how to explain it. It's firmer than regular DSP. And it just feels like it's been coated with something. More than like kind of glossy paper, but even more. Okay, so I have that piece done. So let's just go ahead and build our bunny and our basket so that we don't have to try to work with it all glued down. So I already cut them out. I put them, these are like little dip things. Like I bought them from when my grandkids come over. They always like to have a side of ranch with their french fries or their chicken tenders, whatever they're having. So I have a whole bunch of these. So I thought, oh, it's perfect to put my little things in here that I need for my card. So we're going to start off first with this basket, which I used the dies to cut out. And on the back is the Easter eggs, which is what I used to cut out some Easter eggs. And I could even cut ones that were close to the edge because only a part of them is going to show. So some of them are not all there, but it's going to be hidden when we make the card. I have some hearts in here and some other little diamonds from something else I cut out. So we're going to take our basket, and this, I just did the grass out of this paper so that it would match. You could make it out of Shy Shamrock cardstock or whatever color you'd want to make it. So I'm going to put just a thin line here. Maybe. I was going to say it was just working. And I'm going to lay my grass in there. I like it when you can see all the way to the bottom of my glass mat, then I'm not doing things out of the picture. So that's about how much I left sticking out the top. And then I'm going to put in some eggs. So I'm just going to put some dots of glue back here. And I think I have 4 of them. Perhaps I should only do 3 of them because you're always supposed to do an odd number. And then I'm going to make a spot for the chocolate Easter bunny. So I'm going to take this pink one. Even though it's a half an egg, you're never going to be able to see that. And I'll do a blue one. Kind of laying like this. And I'll do an orange one. Or peach pie. Over here. And right here in the middle, I'm going to add our chocolate bunny. Now, I stamped this chocolate bunny and I colored them in. Thanks, Anna. It's just the DSP that I use for the basket. You can also cut out, it has in the dies these 4 strips that you can cut out. And you can weave them in here and make it look like it's woven with some ribbon, but I didn't do that for this one because I already had so many little things to stick in here. I didn't want to take forever making the card. So let's see if we can get the chocolate bunny to stand up there. There he is, and that looks pretty good. Put the blue one down just a little bit more. See how you can't even tell that I didn't cut out the whole blue and pink egg. And on the front, we're going to put a line here for this little scallop thing. I cut this out of the new shimmer paper that's in the January to April mini catalog. I'm going to put this egg back so I don't lose it. I'm sure I'm going to make some more Easter eggs. And now I have a little pink ribbon here. Again, I cut this out of the shimmer paper. I'm going to put a dot of glue there. And I'm going to try to put that right in the middle. There we go. Now we have our whole little basket all finished with some Easter eggs, a wrap. And it doesn't really take that long to cut out. There's a die that will cut out the Easter eggs. Or if you'd rather just fussy cut them. Either way, it's not hard at all. And then we're going to glue this right down to our mini card front. Now I don't want to put too much glue back here because it does have those slits to add the extra little strips of paper, and if I put too much, it's going to come oozing out of those little stripes or strips. So I'm just going to put on enough to hold it. Kind of pat it down a little. Make sure that it's straight. There we go. Let me get some of the glue off my fingers. Now that's the one thing about using glue. I always end up with it all over my fingers. Okay, so now we have the little card front. So we're going to need some tearing tape. And we're going to take our mechanism here and we're going to put a piece of tape, of tearing tape. If I can find the beginning. Right here at the top. And then we're going to put another piece right here on the bottom, on the opposite side. Okay, we're going to find our picker tool, which is right where it's supposed to be. That doesn't happen very often in my stamping room. Thanks, Anna. I thought that's why I got the set, and Judy has this set too, and she's been making lots of little cards with them. Oh, look what happened. It kind of slid off. How did that happen? When I wasn't even looking. You really do have to kind of hold this for a little bit when you glue it because the paper is so slippery with that finish on there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to slide our mechanism through the hole here, or the slit, and we're going to line this edge right here up with the edge of the white cardstock. And then we're going to lay this and line it up with the edge. I should have gave this a little bit more time to dry. Okay. So now we have that stuck on there, and we want to take this piece off. You probably could have did these both at the same time, but sometimes I like to just do them at different times. So in case I mess one up, I won't have two of them stuck together. Okay, so let's see if this is going to work now. You know what happened is, I must have made the slit in this one a little bit bigger than I did on the other one. There we go. That's how it should work. The thing I might have to change is I might dab this with my embossing buddy, because I think a little bit of my tearing tape is going to show there, and I don't want it to get stuck on here. So if I put some embossing powder on there, it shouldn't. You could make this slit less wide, then you wouldn't have to worry about that problem. But it seems like it's going to work now. You can kind of take your bone folder if you want and kind of go over this part. Maybe we should have done that a little bit more with this mechanism. Oh, it is metal, Anna. It's a little dipping thing that I got to put their ranch in when they come to eat supper with me. I see what you mean now. I think they came like 12 in a package, and I decided, well, I'm going to use a couple of them in here just for my little things. So next what we're going to do is we're going to put this inside piece in. I've already stamped the bunny and stamped up there, and I'm going to get an alcohol wipe and get some glue off my glass mat before I stick my card in it. Sorry about that squeaky noise like a chalkboard. I love my glass mat because you could just clean it and the rubbing alcohol dries so fast. There we go, no more stickiness. So I want to put a little bit of adhesive on the back here. You can kind of see where my Stampin' Blend went through those little pink dashes. That's from the bunny's ears and the Stampin' Blends I used. Okay, so I'm going to put this here. And it's just not going to have very much of a background on it. Now, you're not going to have very much room to write anything, maybe sign your name, but you always have the whole back to write on also. Or if you want to, you can write on this side. So now we're just going to put a little bit of adhesive right here on this piece, because we're putting this on. The piece we're going to put on now is going to hide the mechanism. Oops, there we go. Lots of glue now. We're going to add that there. Then it should still work. Why isn't it working now? Because I finally, the tearing tape is. Okay, now we got it. I'm going to add this piece. Always when you're doing something on live, part of it doesn't want to work for me. I know what it is because I should have put on a thinner piece of tearing tape there, or a smaller slit in the middle than because it's just hanging over by a hair. So there we go. The only thing we have left now is to put a ribbon there. And I forgot that, so now I have to get my ribbon. It's here in the basket. Hopefully. I have a basket full of ribbon. This guy, I'm sorry, Shy Shamrock's going to be leaving May 1st because it's one of the 2024 to 2026 in colors. I don't know if I'm going to try to tie a bow here, or if I might just make a bow like this with a knot, because with my nails, sometimes it's kind of hard to make bows. So I'm just going to make this knot bow. I'm going to roll this up. And this is how I keep my ribbons so that they're not always unwinding and everything, and they still stack on each other also. I just got these little binder clips to put on there. I know there's a lot of different secrets with those. And the only reason you're really putting this bow on there is for just decoration. It doesn't really need one. You could also say pull me, right? Pull me on there if you think the person might not know how to open it. I just stuck a glue dot there on the knot and stuck that down. And now I have a pop-up Easter card. Very much fun. Okay. So let's put this away. And next we're going to make the Peekaboo Diamond, or the Floating Diamond card. Let me just kind of clean up a little bit here. And this one, I used the new Painted Illusion product of the month for February, which is still available. And then it opens up like this. And you can write here or here. A lot of different places you can write. And I used the new, what's it called? Banner sayings to do all these little banners on here, which I think ended up to be pretty cute. So let's see what I cut different paper and everything for this. So here we go. And I already have a little pink ribbon I tied ahead of time. So we need a rectangle. This is for the envelope. All these different pieces here. So what we're going to say is that we're going to cut our paper at 5.5 by 9, and then you'll have this 2-inch by 5.5 strip that came off of down here, and you want to save that so that you can, I will show you, it's going to end up being this piece right here. Okay, so I have my card laying here the wrong way. The short side goes on this side. The long side goes on this side to make that inside piece. And it's going to get really hard to get this to lay down because I used card thick white again. Just because I have some and I thought since I'm using it as the whole card, I should use it to make it be more sturdy. But I'm going to do my best. So, you start out with 5.5 by 9. And then you're going to score it at, you're going to have it in your scoring machine, in your paper cutter, and you're going to score it at 1, 1.5 at 2. Then I turn it around this way. Now, I could give you measurements, but then you have to put out your arm and you have to find the 6 1/4. It was hard for me to find. So then I turned it like this. And on this side, I cut 1 3/4, 2 1/4, and 2 3/4. So, then I have folded them so that they make an M. And the little side goes on the left, the bigger side goes on the right. And now we're ready to start adding some designer series paper. I'm going to have to see, because this designer series paper is pretty close to being the same for that one and for this one. Okay, so this one's going to go on here. This is called the Splash of Sparkle DSP. It's so pretty, I think, the pink and the silver. This one's going to go, I'm going to give you these measurements in just a second after I get them laid out here so I can remember what goes where. This piece is going to, this is the back of a silver piece, but it's just the bubble bath. So I put it in there. And then this long piece here is going to go here. So now let me go over the measurements. This measurement here on this side is 3/4 by 5 1/4. Okay, then this one here is 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. And this other one that's, I'm sorry, this one's the inside one. It is 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. And this on the outside is 1 3/4. Let me just see. This one is 2 by 5 1/4. And then this one is 1 3/4 by 5. I'll let you take a picture of my notes when I'm finished. So, what we're going to start with first is we're going to start adding some of these pieces so that we can quit having them fall all over the place. So we're going to take this piece. either it comes out in a big glob or it doesn't want to come out at all. It must be getting close to running out. So this is 3/4 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to put it over here on this panel. There we go. Then we're going to take this piece, which is 1 1/2 by 5 1/4. So this is 1 3/4 is how big that piece is, because we always know our DSP is 1/4 of an inch smaller. Perhaps I should get out a new bottle of glue. But there always seems to be some in here. It just takes a little bit to get it out. There we go. Okay, and we're going to add this right here. I have to be very careful because I don't want to get any of my sticky fingers on the foil, because then it gets to be where it's not shining anymore. I'm just picking this up to hold it closer so I can kind of slide this around and get it on there straight. Okay, so now we have these two pieces on. We're going to wait to put this on till we get the front so we can know exactly where we want to put that. So now this is going to be glued down to here, and this piece is 5 1/2 by 2, so this is 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. So thankful for math class. I never thought that all the years I was taking math, but it comes very much in handy now. There we go. Now we're going to add this. Okay, now we're going to work on our squares. We have 3 squares, and they are the squares are 1 1/2 inch squares, and we have 3 of them. Well, I have 4 of them, but I only need 3 of them. Somehow I ended up with an extra one, but that's okay. We'll just put that over there for the next card. And then I cut out some of this just bubble bath. And this is 1 7/8 by 1 7/8. So you're just going to have a little bit of the white showing. And then I cut these out to go on here, which makes these 1 1/4. Well, these aren't 1 7/8 then. I'm sorry. They are 1 3/8. 1 3/8. 1 1/4. So let's put some glue on all these so we can get them together. Now, if you had a DSP that had directions and you need to keep things like flowers growing the right way, then you'd have to be more careful. Mine does not have really a direction to it, so I can just put them on either way and they're going to look fine. At first I left off this piece of pink, but then I thought it had too much white, so I added that pink layer. I'm going to hold this up here so you can see me put this on here. There we go. Has to come down just a little. Then we have one more. Well, where's my first one I did? Did I do this? Nope. I already did do one, but I don't know what happened to it, so I have enough here to do more. Okay, I'm tired of playing with this glue. Even though I know there's still some in there. I have another bottle sitting right here. I'm just going to have to open it. I'm cleaning my fingers first. Because these pieces are so little, I'm getting glue on my fingertips, which is not a good thing when you're working with foil DSP. Okay. Here we are. Another bottle of glue. Now I'm going to have to remember not to squeeze it too hard because it's going to be a brand new bottle. Okay, so I'm just going to put a little bit on the back of this blue. And I'm going to put it on this one. There we go. Then I'm going to put a piece of the bubble bath with the silver on the front of that. I'm trying to get it even here. There we go. And then we have this one. I guess I didn't already do one because I have 3 finished and that's what I should have. Whoa, that came out very fast. Got this one a little crooked. Okay, so there we are. So now we're going to turn these to look like they're diamond shaped. And we're just going to put a little bit of adhesive on this corner and on this corner. And this is the one it's going to hook to, not to this one. This is the inside one. It's going to hook to this one. So we're going to start out here at the top. And we're going to remember we just want to put a little glue on this one and this one. Just a little dot because you don't want it to get too much. And glue your card shut. So we're going to lay this tip here. I should have had this piece ready up here. I'm going to lay this piece so it lines up with that bottom piece. And I'm going to put my little bit of glue and my little bit of glue right there. And I'm going to hold it down a little bit. As soon as you get the first one in, then it gets much easier. See what I mean? Now I got that one, and these two will be much easier to do. It's a little hard to get that first one in. Again, I'm just going to put a dot on opposite corners, and I'm going to put the bottom one in next. I don't know how I am so messy that I get it on my fingers so much. But I do. And so now I'm going to put this one in. And this one, you can either have it cover both of them at the tips, or I could have moved this one up higher. I guess I could move this one, but then I'll have a glue spot, so I'm not going to do that. So this can go over both of them, or it can go over that one and under that one. That is just up to you. I think I'm just going to make this one go on top of both of them. Be sure I have the glue on the right side. Make sure that it goes point to point. Oops. Okay, because of the foil, it's not going to dry as fast as if it was paper, so I have to give it a few more minutes. Let me just hold this down a little bit. It might have been easier maybe to use glue dots, especially with this foil paper. I didn't even think about that. Now hopefully I got these so that I put the, yes. So now we're just going to let these dry a little, because it does take a little bit longer when you, if you have the glue on the foil, for it to dry. So I have to clean my fingers again. I don't know what it is tonight, but I just can't keep my finger tips from getting sticky. It's a good thing I have these alcohol rubs laying right here. Well, you can see the shadow of my fingers, cleaning my fingers. I'm going to write on my directions that, hi, Marianne. So nice to see that you're here. I was busy putting the diamonds on, so I didn't look over and see that we had another person join us. Okay, so now we have this, and we have this. So now we know where we can add this. I'm just going to kind of lay it in here first and close it. And that looks pretty good right there. So we're going to open this again. And we just have maybe like 1/4 of an inch from this to this last piece. And we're going to put some adhesive on the back. And we know not to squeeze hard because our adhesive is new. And let me just get this even in here. We're going to close this again to see how it looks. And it all looks pretty good, and I really like that pink with the foil. That just sparkles so pretty. So now what we're going to do is we're going to decide what we want to put, what greetings we want to put. So this is a bundle. You get this stamp set, which is banner stains, and you get this punch. So you can stamp them and then use this punch to cut them out with. So let's see. We can make this be another birthday one, like we did this one. It would be pretty for like a little girl, or like my granddaughter who's almost a teenager. She would like all the pink and silver, I think, too. So I just got the set, so I haven't had a chance to do what I usually do, stamp it on the back. It's still just on this piece. Oh, and I must be missing the piece. That's what I used. I must be missing my top piece of plastic with it. So let's see, what words do we want to use. We can say, you are the sweetest. Celebrate. That's what we have on that one. And we'll say, you're the sweetest, you are loved, and celebrate on the outside, and we'll do the happy birthday on the inside. So I have this little caddy for my blocks back there, so they're always waiting in the wings. Sometimes it's kind of hard for me to see what these words say. That's why I tried to stamp them on this piece of paper, but then they are like opposite. I don't know how to explain it. So this one is You Are the Sweetest. I'm going to put this on here. And let me go grab my Bubble Bath ink. See, I just have this strip of paper over here waiting. It'll be perfect. We can just stamp and cut it out and then stamp again. Get this on here a little bit straighter. You Are the Sweetest. I think we're going to cut it out in this one this time with the little arrow. Well, if I do that, I'm going to get... Oh, yep, let's see what this looks like. I'm going to get these other 3 punched out when I punch out that one. So maybe we'll make them all be different. This we can say, You Are the Sweetest. And we can say, we'll do this one because it's little too. We'll put that one in the middle. This one in the middle. What should we say there? Maybe Celebrate. Here's Celebrate. I will try to stamp it on there straight. And you don't have to do this. You could just put one greeting on if you want. I just like to use this new stamp set that I got. This is a pretty pink too, Marianne. I like the Bubble Bath much better than the Petal Pink, because Petal Pink's kind of orange to me. Okay. And we could put Happy Birthday on this one because it's longer. I'm going to have to remember to clean these. Okay, Happy Birthday. Here it is. And we're going to put it on this one. There we go. And we're going to put this Celebrate one in the middle, and we're going to make the top one match the bottom one. That's for the inside. We'll leave that. And then what else did we want? Sending My Love we could put. So let me see if I can find that one. Sending My Love is under I Am So Grateful. Here it is. It's pretty hard to see it when it doesn't have the lines, you know, the words behind it. Pretty sure this one says Sending My Love. I went to a siblings dinner Friday night with my brothers and my sister, and then my niece, who just had a baby at the end of January, she stopped by the restaurant just so we could meet Mac. He's so cute. He's got the chubbiest little cheeks. So that was fun to see him. Now I'm going to have 3 more. Try to decide how could I do this where I wouldn't have to cut out all 3 if I didn't want to. I'm going to try something different. I'm going to stamp that again. I kind of squished it down too hard. Okay. I'm just going to use I have some scissors laying here. Just because if I punch more, I'm just going to have them laying around and I'll probably forget where they are. And they'll just go to waste. So if I just cut this little piece here, I lined it up in there. Very loud noise. All right, we're almost finished. I'm learning to try to put my stamps away right after I use them because that way I don't lose them. I've lost a couple in the last few months. Okay, we put away that paper, put away that. Now we can start gluing these down. See, don't these little banners look so cute on here? Because I have a hard time. I could just maybe, you know, whenever I try to just stamp on a skinny piece of paper like this and then cut that flag there by myself, I always mess it up. I can't get it even, so this is just much easier. I can make little bitty banners with the punch. And there are other words from some of my other sets that will fit in them too. I'll just have to look more. I think I like this one better than the first, but the first one is nice and bright, showing off all the painted illusions. Okay, this one's going to go on the inside, and we only want to put glue on half of it, on the birthday half, so that it doesn't glue down there to the bottom. And we want to put it so it's kind of hidden behind this middle diamond also. So I think if I try to put this in the middle, it should work out to be underneath that diamond. Works out perfect. And like I said, you can write stuff here, or if you wanted to, you could write on the back of the card. And I also made this little bitty pink bow to put somewhere. Decide where we think I should put the little bitty bow. Maybe I should have made 3 little bows. What do you think if I put it on this middle diamond with this celebrate? That might look pretty. I forgot to put embellishments on my other one too. Get my glue dots back out. I don't know if this one needs too much. It definitely doesn't need any Stella because it already has enough sparkle with the silver. I'm going to take this off with my Pick-a tool so I can roll it up a little bit because it's too big. My ribbon is too small for the whole glue dot. So I just want to kind of fold it up a little bit. And I'm just going to stick it here in the middle of the diamond. And I'm going to stick my ribbon there. I used my bow maker to make this because with these nails, I cannot make small bows. And sometimes I can't even make large bows with my nails. So, there we go. A happy birthday card. A happy birthday card. And then an Easter card. That's fun to play with. This one, I made a mistake when I made it and had my mechanism get taped over here, and then I had to take it up off and tape it in the right place. So this was all sticky, so I put a piece of paper there. So you kind of have to be careful when you're putting this one back in because it likes to get caught on there. But I didn't know what else to do. I could have just made a new mechanism, but I had everything all glued and everything when I noticed what I did wrong. So there and this I'm going to use for the envelope for this. And I don't know if I'm going to use some of my Easter paper for the envelope. I might. It depends on how many Easter cards I make and how much paper I have left over. So I will put my instructions up here. Let me make room for them. And if you wanted to take a screenshot, you could take a screenshot. The top one's going to be the Easter one, and the bottom one is on 2 different pages, so I'll have to turn the page. So here we go. I think I try to write it neatly. And then also I saw this Sue Stampfield on February 5th. She has a video about it. And then she has a video for the diamond card on February 22nd if you want to look that up on YouTube. So just give you a few minutes and then I'll turn the page so you can get the rest to the Peekaboo Diamond. Okay, let's see. Here we go. This is just the last. Hopefully you can read that, and maybe you might have to watch the video again after you cut your pieces. Oh, I could always give it to you. Oh, the Easter card, because you'll be very careful with it and know how to open and close it. I'll keep that in mind when I get ready. I don't even know if I've ever sent Easter cards. But I'm thinking this year I might because they're just so cute with this little basket. Even if you had the storybook one, which I think was from last year with all the little rabbits and stuff that look like Bear Rabbit, those would be cute to do this card with too. I'm going to do some where I weave the basket. I just didn't do it on this one. I have a group meeting with Gina's group on the 23rd. So I didn't want to have to make 12 with the woven, so I'm just going to make 12 of these. But I will make a woven one just to show you how it looks. And Judy has made several. It does annoy me, Anna, you know me. I just try not to look at it when I pull it out. I'm thinking, why did I be so lazy and not just go ahead and make a whole new mechanism? But I made some other mistakes trying to follow the video on this one, so I was a little bit tired of trying to figure it out. Well, I hope you both have a good evening, and anybody that's watching the replay or watching now, I hope you have a great evening. And I will be back soon with some more samples to show you. Bye.